starting a little bit early. Morning. Morning. Just gonna drop my first batch in. Play some tunes while I wait for my bagels to cook. Morning. Which I do. Shanty 2. I don't know what Shanty 2 is. I'll have to look it up. Shanty. I sort of messed that one up. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm waiting for my bagels to cook. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, the oven is actually too hot this morning. Somebody left it on. So I'm actually waiting for it to cool down. It is, it's currently 430 degrees Fahrenheit. And I want it to be like between 370 and 390. But I'm gonna bake anyways. I'm just gonna bake with a low flame. I usually have like a medium flame, so I'm just gonna bake. I'm gonna bake with a hot oven, but with lower flame. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the. Oh, there's my first. There's 2 bagels just popped to the surface of the water. You can't see them probably. No, you can't really see it. I'm just gonna go wash my hands, and then I'm gonna wet my boards, and then we're gonna take them back. Got 5 bagels on the surface. And I'm just gonna wet my boards, get ready to put my first batch on the table. So these are mahogany. Not exactly sure where they come from, but they're mahogany boards. I think mahogany grows in Central America. Anyways, they're hardwood. Mahogany is a hardwood, and we use mahogany because it lasts fairly durable. It lasts in the oven quite like 3 or 4 months. Each board should last about 3 or 4 months. It's fairly resistant to flame. It's not very porous. Doesn't absorb scent as much as like some other woods might. It actually it smells like mahogany. It doesn't smell like bagels. It still actually smells like mahogany. These boards are about 3 weeks old, I would think. 2 or 3 weeks old. Yeah, I'm sure we could probably use any kind of hardwood that's available and affordable. I think we use mahogany probably because it's easily available, and it's probably more affordable than other hardwoods, I guess. But I keep the boards for myself, and one day I hope I want to build my own house. One day I want to use these boards in the house, in the construction of the house. So I have a big, huge pile of burnt bagel boards sitting at my parents' house. I'm not exactly sure. They're over. I think they're about $15 to $20. So, but they last quite a while. Like they last if they're being used properly, they should last 3 to 4 months. So yeah, I think they're about $15 to $20 each. I haven't looked at an invoice in a while, so I'm not exactly sure what they're charging. I think the price changes all the time, but I think the average price is like $15 to $20 a board. I might be wrong. They might be more than that, actually. I haven't looked at an invoice in a very long time, so. That's something that my production manager sort of handles. So that's. I just have to order the boards, and they usually come the next day. So. Here's my first batch. Put some, so it's gonna be sesame seed. So I'm trying to do this fairly quickly because I want the bagels to be wet. The wetter the bagels, the better the seeds will stick. If I put them on a table and waited, the water would evaporate, And then if I tried to put the seeds on, the seeds would just, they might stick, but once you take them out of the oven, all the seeds would just fall off. So it's fairly crucial to get the bagels, to get the seeds on the bagels when they're really, really wet. And there's a lot of honey water on there. One of the reasons we put the honey in the water is so that the seeds stick a little bit better. It also helps with browning and flavor and all that kind of stuff. Oh, excuse me. I didn't get enough sleep last night again. I went to Squamish yesterday to pick up my brother. He was camping. And I didn't get enough sleep. Okay, I'm gonna clear my table off. Put my next batch in. So there we go. We got my first batch in on the boards, and then I got my other batch in the pot. So have I ever hurt myself making bagels? The worst thing that has happened to me in this kitchen is I burned myself on this pot occasionally. This is the most dangerous thing in this kitchen, is this hot water. And I know I tend to burn my arms. I get a little bit of splashback. It's one of the reasons I wear this. It's not much protection, but it affords me a little bit of extra protection. Yeah, so I tend to burn my arms a lot. The worst thing I've done is I've accidentally dipped my wrist in the water, and I burnt this whole area right here. It was a terrible burn, and I had to have it wrapped up, and yeah, it was awful. So that's the worst thing I've done to myself. But I've never slipped or fallen. I've never burnt myself on this oven. Yeah, I think it's probably the most dangerous part of the oven is this metal thing, the metal trimming around here. But that's pretty easy to avoid. So I get slivers from these. I get slivers from the boards, but the sliver is not nearly as painful as a burn, so I don't mind that so much. Burns are the worst, especially boiling water. Boiling water is, I find it's almost like napalm or something. It just sticks on your skin, and it burns deeper than other kinds of burns. So yeah, I try to be as careful as possible around this thing. It also gets really hot on the outside, so I try to stay away from it. I've accidentally knocked my elbow up against it a couple times too. Who preps the bagel dough? We have 6 locations, including this one, and the bagel dough is it's produced at a location on Commercial Drive in Vancouver. This location's in North Vancouver. So yeah, I agree. They're the worst. So yeah, we get all of our bagels produced at a central commissary kitchen. It's on Commercial Drive. That's our dough making lab. I've baked those bagels from thawed out and frozen, and I don't really notice much of a difference. So it makes it a little bit easier logistically for us to do it all at one location. We could do it on location, but we'd have to have a second baker in the morning. So we'd have to have one person mixing and rolling, and one person baking. Whereas if you do it at one location, you can just do a huge quantity, freeze it, and then send it out. So I mean, it has some practical, dough making lab. It's not that fancy. It's fairly basic equipment. You just need to make bagels. You just need a giant mixer, and that we have this big giant barrel mixer that you fill it, you feed it in the front, and then it mixes the bagel dough. And I'm not sure, you make a lot of bagels from one batch. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. And then the other piece of equipment in the commissary is a bagel roller machine, and it just you just feed a big strip of dough into it, and it just spits out bagels. So it's not a very sophisticated bagel lab. I don't know. I guess we could start 3D printing our bagels or something. Future 3D printed bagels. No, it's not a premix. It's an original recipe. Our recipe is based on the Montreal style bagel recipe. The founder of this company is the daughter of another bagel. His name is Joe Siegel, and he opened a bagel shop called Siegel's Bagels in Kitsilano. And his daughter opened this company, started this company. A few years ago. So our recipe is based on the Montreal style recipe, and one of the founder's father actually lived in Montreal and worked in a Montreal bagel shop, and then he moved to Vancouver from Montreal and started his own business. And so this is the what do you call it? Descendant. So right now, there's 2 stages, or there's 4 stages in the oven. There's the stage on the boards, and then I flip them on the deck, and then I put them in the center of the oven to brown, and then I flip them and I let them brown on the other side. So the two stages right here are like proofing stages. I'm waiting for the bagels to get big and fat, and that's where I want the bagels to be really hot, but not getting too much flame. So I don't want them to brown too soon, because I want to make sure that the bagels get nice and brown and fat. That they expand to their maximum size before they brown. If I let them brown too soon, they won't expand to their optimal size. So it's important to not let them brown too soon. I just put the bagels in the center of the oven. I'm gonna let them brown. And my next batch, I need to. I'm gonna stir it. I'm just gonna read my comments here. Yeah. You're not being sarcastic about the volume, are you? Somebody has asked me if I could play the theme song from the Titanic. I can't play it on the recorder, but I can whistle parts of it. It's probably out of key though. Yeah, I'm going to take my next batch out of the oven, or the pot, sorry, pot. So right now my first batch is in the center of the oven, and they're just going to start to brown. And you can check my flame, stir my pot. I'm going to recite some poetry while I do this. I usually start with the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I have a bit of a repertoire. I'm working on expanding my repertoire. Unfortunately, it takes a while to learn, memorize, memorize. It takes a while to memorize things. It's not easy. Anyways, here's the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I'll try to read the comments as sort of in between my batches. That bagel got overbaked or overcooked. Anyways, I'm gonna read this. Yeah, so I'm gonna recite a poem. This is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Hamelin towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so, from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. split open the kegs of salted sprats, make nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find with the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, to find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour he sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a gilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my forehead aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, what should hap? At the chamber door, but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little to wondrous fact, nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long open oyster, save when it knew his posture muteness, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself as tall as thin, with sharp blue eyes each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin, but lips where smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table. "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm, to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, mole and toad and newt and viper. People call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck the scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check. And on scarf's end hung a pipe. His fingers, they noticed, were ever straining, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vest and soul spangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I bred the cam. Last June from his huge swarms of gnats, I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of an astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere the fisher loves the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Rat Land home as commentary. Which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound of the scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses bright, and moving away of pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and great groups of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice sweeter far than by harp of my solaries breathed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice, the world has grown to a vast risaltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on,
breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on. Already stayed like a great sun shone. Grace is scarce an inch before me. Just as me thought his head come before me, I found the west rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells so they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, get long poles, poke up the nest and block up the holes. We saw it with carpenters and builders, leaving our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the piper kirk to the marketplace. But first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders, the mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too. For counts of dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moselle, Vin de Gras, Hawk, and half the money would replenish their cellars big as butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as to the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, the loss of me to Swifty, 1,000 guilders come to take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promised a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and accept the prime of the head cook's pottage. All he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bait a stiver. The folks who put me in a passion, may find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture piebald? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, pull your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane, and there he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds jostling and pitching and hustling, small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, like foals in the farmyard and barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, with sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping ran merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb and the company stood, as if they're changed in blocks of wood, unable to move except to cry. Could the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with an eye that joyous pat of the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched count's bosoms beat as the piper turned from the high street, where the western rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. How he turned from south to west, to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top. He's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if the cabin was suddenly hollow. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were in to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you'd blame his sadness, he was used to say, it's dull in our town since my playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights I see, which the piper also promised me. Before he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town in jest at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, flowers before the fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was brighter peacock here, their dogs ran a fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, horses were born with eagle's wings. Just as I became assured, my lame foot was speedily cured. The music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, that came to many a burgher's hate, a text which says at heaven's gate, hopes the rich at his easy rate, as the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever it was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he returned the way he went, and bring the children behind him. But when they saw it was lost and never, and piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was sure for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hospital or tavern, shocked with mirth the street so solemn. In opposite place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there's a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress in which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were trepanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Willie, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats, from mice, if we promise not, let us keep our promise. That was the Pied Piper of Hamlin. You can read some comments here. Oh, thank you. This recital is more on point, mate. Sick flips. How do you find out? I watch Twitch all the time. Some of my favorite. I watch streamers all the time. I watch. Some of my favorite streamers are Dan's Gaming, and I watch Co-Carnage. I like watching like builder games. I've been watching Dragon Quest Builder. I think I want to play that game actually. I'm into I like role-playing games. So I watch streamers that play like Baldur's Gate. I'm really excited about Baldur's Gate 3, man. That's exciting. I remember playing Baldur's Gate while I was going to university. And I'm really excited about Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be watching some streamers do that. I'm going to actually have to buy a system that runs it. I think I might buy a Switch. I'm going to buy one of those, I'm going to get one of those updated Switches with the new graphics in it. I think, is Baldur's Gate 3 going to be on the Switch, or is it, or am I delusional? Yeah, Baldur's Gate, man. I played through the first one and the second one. I played Torment a bit too, the Planescape one. The Torment one, that was a good game. Icewind Dale was sweet too. I like Icewind Dale. Yeah, so I don't know, I've been watching Twitch for quite a while. Probably last 2 or 3 years I've been watching it pretty much every day. I love Twitch's food channel. The 20-hour, 24-hour, 7 whatever. That food channel. I love watching that. It's all those like French chefs and yeah, I love that. Twitch is great. Twitch is like. Oh, okay, Baldur's. Yeah, I'll check it out later. I think it might be. I think they might be putting it on the Switch. I'm not sure. That seems like a stretch to me, though. I don't know. But yeah, so I love games. I just don't have a lot of time to play them, so. I grew up playing Nintendo games. Nintendo. I never really got into PC games much because I never really owned an actual PC. I've always owned Macs, so most of my gaming experience has been with Nintendo. Or right now I have an Xbox 360, and I play Skyrim once in a while. Borderlands 2. Actually, I'm looking forward to Borderlands 3. I think that'll be a good game. Unless is it already out? I don't know. I'm a little behind on the game news. Like I'm still playing Skyrim. The Borderlands. I'm doing my first playthrough of Borderland 2 Borderland 2 just now. And I think that game came out like 2009 or something, like a long time ago. So I'm a little bit behind in the gaming. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy a Switch, maybe during Christmas when they release that new one. I think it's coming out in September. Although I think that's a Lite. The Lite's coming out in September. And the Pro, I'm gonna buy the Pro, the Switch Pro. If that's what they're calling it, I don't know if that's what they're calling it. It makes sense if they called it that. Voila, 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 voila.
I'll read some comments. Which is nice. My buddy's non-stop on his. Don't want to switch myself. Yeah, I was considering getting the Switch Lite, but I think I need the one that plugs into the screen though. Yeah, I looked at Stream Elements.
I didn't have a chance. I'm gonna install it tonight probably.
Stream Elements is the one where you can do the donate button, right? Or yeah, okay. Yeah, I sort of took a look at it last night. I didn't have a lot of time to fiddle around with it last night, so I'll take a look at it today. Ugh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the Stream Elements panel, but I didn't have a chance to add it last night. I'll take a second look at it today after my shift. I would have done it yesterday, but I had to go to Squamish out in the afternoon or the late afternoon to pick up my brother. He was camping out there, so. These are pretty toasty. My oven is too hot this morning. Somebody left it on too long yesterday. And so this batch is a little bit toasted. Roasted. No, all of the heat comes from the flame. That's all. There isn't any kind of. Well, I think you have the option of heating the deck, but this deck doesn't work. I think it's this deck is disconnected here, so you can heat the deck on some of these ovens, but this one doesn't work. So we. Excuse me. All of the heat is coming from the flame, the burners. No, I don't think they got up to metal melting. They probably got up to 600 or 700 degrees though. Because at the end of the day, they leave the oven on maximum, and they let it go up to about 500. I think it's 550 degrees, and that means in the morning when we get here, it's cooled down to like 400 degrees, so or 350 usually. And then you have to preheat it a bit. But this morning it was really hot. It was 450 degrees, which is like 50 degrees too warm. So.
to your comment in a second here, sorry. Oh, we need a new Shiva. This one's too dull. It's making me angry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so like, if they shut the oven off right at the end of my shift, if I shut it off right at the end of my shift, I'd get here in the morning and it would be like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'd have to sit here for like probably 2 hours waiting for it to get hot enough. So at the end of the shift, they crank it up to about 550 degrees or 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And then when I get here in the morning, it's cooled down to about 400, like between 350 and 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then all I'll have to do is sit here for like maybe a half an hour and wait for it to heat up. Yeah, I think no, this oven doesn't have a timer on it. These ovens are pretty manual. They're made for like yeah, they're pretty manual kind of ovens. They don't have very many settings on them. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have some good memories. It sounds like you were a child when Baldur's Gate came out. I was a college student when Baldur's Gate came out. That's how old I am. I should say I think I was going to university at that time. I was going to the University of Calgary. Baldur's Gate. I should play those Pillars of Eternity games. They look pretty good too. Yeah. I know. I like Borderlands gaming. It's a fun game to play. It's like the gameplay is really exciting and engaging. Well, it's a well-designed game, I think. I like the weapons in it too. And the upgrading, and yeah, it's a good game. Hopefully they do a good job of it. I want to start streaming some gameplay, but I don't have I need to get a good webcam first. I have a webcam on my computer, but it's definitely not up to the task. So I'm dressing these plain bagels with everything dressing. Everything.
read some comments in a minute. These are everything bagels. I have 2 sesame in the oven. I turned the flame down because I think my bagels are getting a little roasted. So, my oven is too hot. Down to 426 degrees. It's not going down very fast. Just focus on, okay. Yeah. I know, I want people to see my face. Oh, thanks. I bought this hat at, where'd I get it? Le Chateau. They're the only place that had a good, like, I don't know what style of hat this is. What is it called? I think it's called a newsboy hat. They were the only ones that had the style I liked. It's a little bit tight though. Sort of squeezes my head a bit. And it hasn't really loosened. I was hoping it'd loosen up a bit. Bagels. Are these ready? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, they're ready. Well, that batch turned out okay. That turned out okay. Yeah, I do have a tattoo. I have, yeah, this tattoo. And I have this, that one's covered by my watch though. They're all, I didn't go, I call them my prison tattoos. I've never been to prison, but, they're my prison tattoos. My friend bought a, like a, what do you call, a tattoo gun, whatever. He bought a tattoo gun, and I was his first subject, so, yeah. So yeah, those are my prison tattoos. They were free. I didn't pay for them. I paid for them with my dignity. My self-respect was all I paid for. It wasn't a high price. It wasn't a high price to pay, but I paid it. cheap art. Free tattoos are the best. No, I don't think that's true in most cases. I have a few friends that have free tattoos, and yeah, they're pretty awful. Fortunately, I didn't try to get him to do anything too complicated. Because if I'd got him to do something like representational or something, it probably would have turned out much worse. So. I think I have a pattern of getting bad tattoos every 15 years. So I got a bad tattoo when I was 15. I got a bad tattoo when I was 30. And I'm gonna get a bad tattoo when I'm 45. So. It's my 15-year plan. My 45-year tattoo plan. Yeah, that's a tradition. The other bad tattoo I got was when I was 15, and I got drunk with some friends, and they made a homemade tattoo gun, and I was an idiot, and I let them do an anarchy symbol on me. I was so drunk, it was ridiculous. I grew up in a small town where drinking was like the only thing you did ever. Yeah. And but I got that tattoo removed with a laser because that was just too much of a degradation of my body and soul. So. Yeah, it was on my arm right here. Yeah, so I'll get another tattoo when I'm 45. I'll get it on my face or something. Like something Charles Manson-esque on my face. Really bad tattoo right in the middle of my face, on my nose or something. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna reveal my age. It's coming. It's coming up pretty quick though. Too quickly. Too quickly. My plan is to get a bad tattoo. When I turn 45, I'm gonna get a bad tattoo and I'm gonna change my career. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah, Scorpion, yeah. Oh, the Scorpion was, that was the name of our volleyball team in high school, the Scorpions.
Oh my God, I'm sweating today.
Oh, good night. Thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, nice.
Have a great sleep. Hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 24 degrees, according to my Apple Watch. Mente Quattro. Mente Quattro. Mente Quattro. Maybe I'll tell a story. This is Rolling Pie in the Oven Blade. There once was a young man named Rolling Pie who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through a park and playing his recorder the rest of all from all his baking, when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man with stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagel he needed. From that day on, Rolling Pie was the happiest baker alive. He'd bake until he was tired. Then he'd pull his recorder out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Rolling Pie lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill, was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Roland. In the beginning, he said that Roland was a good worker, but lazy. Next, he said that Roland baked a whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Roland of being a sorcerer, and the people turned on him. Therefore, Rolling Pie took his recorder and left his home behind. When Rolling Pie came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old buster and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man, "and we will share alms." So Rolling Pie, the old man, started going around and singing. "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget the standard feet are? Baker, no woman loves you well, although it is golden and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that's yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Everybody gave alms to the old man. With Roland, they said, "What is a young man like you out begging? Why don't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Rolling Pie. "That's what you say. There is a king with so many hungry soldiers that he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Rolling Pie went to the king's kitchen and took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used by anyone. Roland mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings. Then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Roland wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder. And once he was weary of playing his recorder, he'd sing. Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is gold and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to clean. Your limbs are the knots of cords and old-fashioned keen. Baker, lie the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are. Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pye and fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in the boat. When they were already on the high seas, Roland remembered the busker. He said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man. Since he shared his alms with me, we can't go off and leave him like that." At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it had been dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had, and I shared everything I own. Now you have the king's daughter, and must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pye a knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pye took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in two, when suddenly the old man stopped him. "Stop. I knew you were a just man. I am the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy." At this, the old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, with a princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. The end. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Have a great day. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another, and assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with some certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, governments instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles, and organizing its powers in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. Experience accordingly has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer when evils are sufferable than right themselves by altering the forms to which they have become accustomed. But when long trained abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces the design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such a government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of England is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused assent to laws most wholesome and necessary for the public good. Listen up, Donald Trump. He has refused assent to laws most wholesome and necessary for the public good. That's the whole purpose of the Republican Party right now. Is to refuse laws most wholesome and necessary for the public good. That's exactly what the GOP, the Republicans, do all the time. I don't know how you Americans deal with that. Go for that shit, man. First thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, asking to watch the working of his lie on mine, and though scarce able to afford suppression of the glebe, it pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff, but saved waylaid with his lies and snare, all travelers who might find him posted there, and asked the road. I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, or crutch can write my epitaph for pastime with the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous track which old Lee hides the dark tower, they'd acquiesce in that he turned as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end described, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out 2 years, my hope dwindled into a focus on fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to reduce the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. As the sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, he feels beginning with the tears, and takes farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, with low falling of grieving can amend. While some discuss if near the grave be room enough for this, and what a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with caribou banners, scarfs, and staves. And still the man hears all, and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I have for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so often writ, so many times among the band of wit. The knights who true our tower search to rest their steps, the gist of fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close. Yet shot one grim red later to see the plain catch its stray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged the plain after pacing through, than paused to throw back for the last view. Over the safe road 'twas gone, gray plain all round, nothing but plain the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved and noble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect a cedar grove, but turtle and spurge according to their law might propagate their climate unto all. You think a bird being a treasure trove. No Penry nervous singer may sing some strange sort worth the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly. In nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last much inspired must cure this place. Calcine its claws and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous else. What made the holes and rents in the docks? What made the holes in the docks more thieves and bruised? Heads were chopped. I've lost my place. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red gaunt and callous neck strain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart. As a man calls for wine before he fights, I asked one draft of earlier happier sights. Ere fitly I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of old times sets all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold, an arm in mine to fix me to that place. That way he used, alas, one night's disgrace. Oh, if my heart knew fire and left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago when knighted first. An honest man should dare, he said he durst. Good, but the sheen sifts thaw what hangman's hand pinned to his breast and parchment. His own band reads it, poor traitor spit upon and cursed. It's better this present than pass like that. Back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will a night send a howl or a bat, I asked. But something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden old river caused my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This is a froth bite, might have been a bath, fiend's blowing hoop. To see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with flakes and spoons. so petty yet so spiteful. All along low scrubby alders kneeled over it, drenched willows flung them headlong in fit of rout despair, the suicidal throng, women which had done them all wrong, whatever that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. Which while I courted, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step revealed a spear I thrust to seek, a hollow tangle in his hair and beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby shriek. Glad was I to reach the other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trampled on this pad the dang soil to a plash? Toads in a poison tank, wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading to that horrid news. And I'm out of it, mad brood, set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves, Turk pitiless pastime, Christians against Jews. More than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for, that wheel, or break not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware, or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stub ground, once a wood, next to marsh it would seem, now mere earth, desperate and done with, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it till his mood changes, and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches rankling color gay and grim, now patches where some leanness of the soil is broken and boss or substances like boils. Then came a palsied oak, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening not, point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird of Pauline's poison trend, sail past the weird, even wide-winged dragon pen, it rushed my cat to chance the guide I sought. For looking up where I somehow grew, the plain to give place all round, the mountains with such names to grace mere heights and leaves now stolen in view. How thus they surprised me and salted you, how to get from there was no clearer case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me, God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps. Here ended their progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time came a click as when the trap gesture ended dead. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills crouched like two bulls on horn and fight, while to the left a tall scout mountain, dunce, daughter, and dozing at the very nuts, after a lifetime of training for the sight. One in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, built of brown stone without a counterpart in the whole world. The tempest mocking out points the ship and thus the unseen shelf. He strikes on only when timbers start. Not sea, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. Behind it left the dying sunset, kindled through a cleft. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stabbing at the creature to the head. Not here, when noise was everywhere, it told, repeating like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers, my peers, how such was strong, and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of old, lost, one moment now the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, to view the last of me, a living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless the slug were to my lips I set in blue, child roll into a dark tower cave.
Oh, thank you. That was Pied Piper. No, that was the. That was Child Roll into a Dark Tower Cave. On Child Roll into a Dark Tower Came radio. That was Child Roll into a Dark Tower Came. Ugly fat old woman. Ugly fat old woman. Oh, thanks. Uh, laughter isn't what I'm going for, but I guess that I'll take laughter. That's what it induces in you, I guess. I guess it is sort of hilarious. I don't know. I've never actually watched myself do this, so I can't bring myself to watch myself stream. I'm sure it's ridiculous, though. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, I started reciting poetry like probably 2 years ago. And I was on Periscope for a while. And then Periscope's not very fun. It's too many Russian trolls. Too many Russian trolls and white nationalists on there. Which are probably the same people in one instances. White nationalists. What is their deal? Why are they a thing? Who are they? Why? Why do you exist? Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. Trumpty Dumpty and all his men. Trumpty Dumpty Dumpty, Trumpty Dumpty Dumpty. Trumpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. Trumpty Dumpty. Nice, thanks. Don't bagels and reciting poetry go hand in hand. A good bagel needs to hear a poem before it is devoured. That's what makes them rise in the morning. It gives them that little extra perk that they need. I make the best bagels because my bagels hear poetry in the morning. My bagels are literary bagels. So if you want to come and eat the best bagel in the world, come and get a literary bagel from Rosemary Rockside. Literary bagels. Literal
I love that tune. Did you guys hear that Jaden Smith shaved his head on a stage? How extreme. In my day, musicians bit the heads off of bats. And now musicians from your generation, their claim to fame is shaving their head on the stage. I think Ozzy Osbourne has one up on Jaden Smith on this one. Sorry to say, Jaden Smith, you're just not edgy enough. My generation was a little bit edgier. Black Sabbath. Now there's a band. There's the Kings of Metal. Yeah, I'm Canadian. I'm in Vancouver. I grew up in Alberta, though. I'm a hurtin' Albertan. Texas North. I grew up in Texas North. Making bagels.
Oh, welcome. I love Germany. I imagine Germans know what good bagels taste like. I'd love to travel to Germany, eat some bagels, some German bagels. Hello, hello from Canada. Canada. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? That's all I know. No, I don't think that's true. Montreal, I'm pretty partial to Montreal style bagels. I like Montreal style bagels because they're like hard candy. They're like a Smartie. They have like a hard candy crust, and then they have like the chewy, dense crumb. Yeah. I want to try simit, and it's a Turkish round. It's like a round bread. I think I need to go to Toronto because I think there's a place in Toronto that makes simit. So. New York bagels are pretty good though too. I shouldn't say anything bad about them. I can't say anything bad about any bagels really. If you're eating a bagel, you're probably going to be pretty happy about what you're eating, unless it's been seriously mutilated or pretty properly cooked or something. But I don't know, you can't really go wrong with bagels. Kenya. North of the Border. Excuse me. Yeah, I want to go on a grand bagel tour, and I can go to Montreal. I can go Toronto, Montreal, and then New York. Or no, maybe I'll go Montreal, Toronto, then New York. And I'll go to every bagel shop I find. My grand bagel tour. Grand bagel tour. I want to travel the world eating bagels. That's all I want to do. Travel around the world eating bagels. I'm going to set up a donate switch on here so that you guys can donate to me, and you can send me on a grand bagel tour around the world, and I'll go around the world streaming all of my travels, and I'll go around the world eating bagels on your behalf. I really appreciate that if you guys could step up and send me on a grand bagel tour around the world. struggling with this Shiba. I'm getting a new Shiba today. This Shiba is garbage. Garbage. Oh, it's almost time to end the stream today. Oh yeah, it's coffee time. Sweet angels of merciful caffeination have ascended from heaven. Descended from heaven, I should say. They've come down from heaven to give me caffeine. Those wonderful divine beings whose sole existence is to provide me with caffeine for my morning enrichment. My morning enrichment, my stimulation. So I'll read the comments in a minute here. I have myopia. I can't read that small font they got there. Myopia. Nearsightedness. Oh, I need coffee. I'm gonna get something Trenta-sized. Trenta. I need to get like Trenta cold brew this morning. I need lots and lots of cold coffee. Just give me a bucket. Give me a bucket of cold coffee, please. That's all I want. Bucket size. A bucket sized beverage. Anyways, I think that's all for today. Bagel tour. What? You don't have bagels in Germany? That is very unfortunate. You'd think the Germans would love a good bagel. Maybe we Canadians need to bring you some bagels. Spread the bagel love. Johnny Bagel Seed. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll work on getting that Streamlab or Stream Elements up, so that you guys can send me on a bagel tour around the world. Anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. Have an excellent morning. Thank you.